So, hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be here uh, speaking in our Baltic event. That's really nice. And um, I I hear the expectations for me to explain. I really like to do that. I'm used to deliver lectures in university as well, but by education I'm developer. Also was a team lead. Also I was a technology evangelist at Microsoft. I was doing business development, and the last years I spent as the solution architect. So I was always jumping between technical and business side. So I'll try to explain um, as much as I can, starting from the top. And if you have questions, we can get into more technical as well as during the master classes. So it will be a pleasure to discuss in more technical language as well. So as short intro about One Click Factory. So One Click Factory is founded in Lithuania. And we are focusing on Microsoft Dynamics products, and from technical side, from consultancy, and different tools for partners, Dynamics partners. And last year we started new line of Power Platform and CRM practice together with a CSP distribution. We don't work directly with the customers, and we support partners like Digital Mind in all the technological knowledge, and also with all the licensing and other questions. Probably it's not surprised that we are starting with this statement that today we feel that the big change and the world is changing, and it's nothing new. I believe if we would put in the historical perspective, most of us has evidenced how phones transformed into smartphones, how all the smart devices appeared from nowhere, the explosion of the internet and SaaS applications and cloud and everything. If we just think like 5 years, 10 years ago, and how we worked, and we were not able to connect to our offices outside of the office. We supposed to come to the office to connect to our systems and etc. And exposing it to internet was a big deal for IT and etc. And today we are all moving around, working from anywhere, and that was even before the COVID. And to address all these things, companies should be really agile and flexible. And there is a good term, digital resilience, which means that how strong we are in this skill of addressing those changes, how agile we are. And that's a really important area for the businesses today to think of. Yeah, probably it's again not in use, but COVID crisis was one of the things which really forced us to move digitalization much faster. Satya Nadella, Microsoft CEO, was telling that we've seen 2 years worth of digital transformation in 2 months. So it means even we were kind of slowly planning the moving to digital world. So we were forced without any objections, and we had to do that. And most of the companies adopted very easily and moved right away into the working remotely and delivering things from the online systems and etc. Another study shows from Gartner shows that the demand for IT apps and systems is growing like 5 times more than before. And also that most of the organizations are struggling to find the IT talents today. Also what Mirat was telling, in CE, many of our IT talents are working for other regions, and today even more and more. And even it's hard to find not even IT, but business workers as well. And in our region, this is a challenge. Also, a study from Gartner shows that there will be much more employees which will stay working remotely, and because most of the companies experience that worked, and most of the people, many of people want to continue that, or at least having the mix of this as the nice flexibility. And also Gartner analyzed that many companies before they were focusing on efficiency, not resilience. It means that they were thinking how to work faster, how to accomplish tools faster, but there was not thinking how to prepare for quick changes. And that's an issue today, because today we have react very fast. And also the growing IT and new generation coming into the workforce also dictates that we need more IT. Another issue is that recession and struggles, like in US, they see that decrease of GDP really big and similar to what we had after World War II. And most of the business, there is not a question. They agree that to survive and to grow the business post-COVID, they need to automate the processes. And for most, it's just common sense that we have to do that. Now is the question how and how to start that. Another interesting perspective is that before low code, which I'm going to explain in a second, there were, of course, IT was building integrations, building apps, and etc. This black part, which required professional developers. And there were lots of needs. All the tail was still uncovered. I mean, there was not enough ROI or enough investments, or there was more important things to do. And many processes were not digitalized before. And now with the low code, actually, it opens all those possibilities. And it gives us opportunity to develop those IT, I don't know, processes, systems, apps, small things much faster than we were able to do before. So now question, what low code is? Is it some buzzword? Is it the buzzword Microsoft invented or other companies? Actually, no. And research companies like Gartner and Forrester analyzes all this market as the separate segment. And there are many players out there on the market. And RPA, robotic process automation, for example, by Gartner, is treated as the subsegment of low-code platform development. So now, to understand better, let's make a turn to more physical things like 3D printers. I believe everybody knows what it is, and I think that 3D printers democratized the hardware in the last decade because now we can play things. We can print spare parts, we can print prototypes, we can print toys, we can learn with the 3D printers. And instead of ordering some manufacturing company and waiting months, or if it's very small order, even not be able to get those things, we can download the model and we can print it. We can modify it a bit, or we can create it from scratch ourselves, and we can get a hard piece of hardware which we can use in our everyday lives. And it's close to us. We can get it fast and right as we need. So the same thing is also about low-code platform. And actually, during the COVID crisis, I think both of those areas help to address this issue. For example, there is an article from Lithuania, like libraries and other IT community who had 3D printers. They were printing face shields for medics and distributing them for free. There was a big community doing that. In the parallel, low-code platforms allow to create a quick apps, and Microsoft, for example, delivered some templates in a couple of weeks, so everybody can adopt to their needs. And many companies were creating those apps to address the issues and quick, rapid change, and that was really a good aid to how to quickly address that. And low code, what is used for, of course, most familiar thing for you probably is business intelligence, all the BI things and etc., where you need to have a knowledge about the data, but in the end you can build reports, really high-end, good-looking reports yourself without a big code or IT knowledge. Business applications, robotic process automations, and there are much more. I'm just not covering that, like chatbots and websites and etc. So let's deconstruct a bit how low code looks in business application development. So we usually start with some template because we already have lots of templates available, and we don't need to start from scratch, from empty canvas. Then we connect to different data sources through connectors. If connectors is not enough, we can easily build our own connectors. Then we do modifications. We just remove screens, like drag and drop, like in PowerPoint. We add new screens, add new like buttons, fields, and etc. Connect to data, and we just modifying the app. And then we add business logic with a small snippets of code, and that's what low code means. That it's simple, similar to Excel formulas, like you just one line or a couple of lines, and you connect pieces so that we move from one screen to another. We update this data, we make some logic, if this, then that, and we get an app which we just publish and share with our colleagues within our organization. Now, similar approaches to robotic process automation, where at the beginning we record how user interacts with the system, with the applications through UI. We record that. We connect it to different sources as well, because maybe we want to save data somewhere. Maybe want to load some Excels and then enter to that system. Of course, probably we'll have some misclicks and etc. So we clean up all that recordings, remove what's unnecessary, and then we again add some small logic inside of that. Maybe we want to write to check if the field is empty. Let's do this, or let's go through every line. I recorded how to do it with one line and enter one Excel line into our legacy system. But then I can add small code and say that, okay, move to next line and repeat the same. So I just adding the loop to that process. And then I schedule and launch the bot. And the bot, as the small robot, software robot, starts crawling over and doing the job for me, repeating the steps which I have done. And with this, Mirad already mentioned, there is coming a new concept, citizen developers, the ones from your organization who can start building the apps, probably the ones who knows the business part and etc., and automating processes, and maybe the guys who were good at Excel and etc., or who really likes to improving the processes, or who were doing the reportings before. They can start building apps next to that, or start automating processes within your organization. And there are projection that there will be 500 million apps created over the next 5 years, and that's much more than it was in the last year. So we have exponential growth of everything. So definitely that due to all the tech talent limitation, we have to connect the citizen developers to the process, and that low-code development and automation gives us a much faster and rapid development process. But we still, let's say, can't be in the dream that, okay, so now we don't need IT at all, because with the growth of that citizen development, we still need to have the IT professionals in the mix to support them, to ensure the security, ensure the governance and the whole process. Of course, train and help those citizen developers, because even though citizen developers, they are getting the building blocks, like they're drag and dropping many things, recording, but anyway, they have to follow the same concepts as the real developers. They have to use variables, loops, they have to call APIs and understand, maybe from high level, not very deep, much on a higher abstraction level, but still they have to understand what the cycle is, how logic expressions works, and etc. So they still need support from professional IT personnel, or from the partners who can help you to adopt that low-code development platform. And that's it from my side. I try to be quick, so I believe there are some questions.
Yeah, hi, yeah, Tony. So it's, I think it's a good introduction actually, because deeper you will explain it in the master classes. Yes, and I think it's
Yep.
For those who, no, we already know that the audience understand the low code and no code, but the idea is, I think that's good, this association with the 3D printer you mentioned. That you need something specific, you print it. In the same with the low code, no code, you need something, some solution, you made it, you print it, and basically
and you can get it much faster, and you don't need to wait for a month and to order it and etc. You can build yourself right here.
Definitely. So, but you also have some questions, and I see the audience still preparing. But I have. Can you remind the key benefits of these low-code solutions? It's not easy to make, but key benefits.
Yeah, so one is the rapid development. It means that you can get respond to business needs much faster than before. That's, I believe, a totally proven fact by COVID crisis. Other thing is that it requires, you can mix non-professional developers into the teams, into the whole process, and maybe even establish the citizen developer idea that your team start building the apps. And of course, as I mentioned, that looks nice, but in reality, you still need, even though some business person has developed small app, when you need to distribute it, when you need to support it, when you need to make it error-free and etc., you still need to support from IT professionals to tweak it, tune it, and to release it so that it will work smoothly and etc.
And we have,
of course,
yeah. Please finish.
Yeah. So and the third probably is that you can now address with both of this. That you can do it faster, means cheaper, and with the less of IT personnel, you can address all those business needs which were uncovered before. And of course, the new business needs today, they arise much faster than before.
Okay, I think that you mentioned the key words, faster and cheaper. I would say, translate it, you can be more efficient in the time and the resources. Yes, you will not spend the time for your internal IT resources for small but very important solutions like business needs. Okay, we need to wrap up, and that's why I will not ask you any more questions. I think this can wait for the masterclass. Everybody is really invited. After the second session will be masterclasses, and Tony will lead the second masterclass with great interesting examples. Tony, thank you. I think applauses.
Perfect.